All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Pokemon. In this video, I want to talk specifically about the Kuromi's Cryptid Carnival set and the potential implications that that print run might have. So this was announced on the very last day of the Metazoo Discord conversation section of the Discord, where you could ask Mike a question. I believe they called it Metazoo Hour. And one of the questions that was asked to Mike was, what was the print run for Hello Kitty, Kuromi? And the response was 10,000 boxes. And typically when we're talking about print run, we're talking about print run per SKU, so 10,000 booster boxes, 10,000 blister packs, etc. Mike also confirms in that response that this was not a regular set, not a core set, but a mini set, which has been something that people have debated about up until this point, and that question has been answered. Now, the reason why I think this is significant, 10,000 booster boxes, even though it's a mini set, this would be the smallest full booster box set that we've had since Kickstarter. Kickstarter was 2,500. Cryptid Nation was 25,000 first edition. Second edition Cryptid Nation was 62,500. Nightfall was 50,000. Wilderness was 100,000. UFO was 100,000. They cut Seance down to 50,000. And then Native, we don't know the print run. They stopped announcing print runs at Native, so we don't actually know. Although I would assume more than likely the print run for Native was more than 10,000 per SKU. So this confirmed that it was a mini set and confirmed that it was pretty scarce in terms of booster boxes. Now, we still don't know about the pink box. We don't know if that's going to be a separate SKU or if it even exists. It seems like at this point it's a moot point. I don't think it exists based on a recent interview that Mike did where he spoke on the pink box, and he basically said, look, I didn't have anything to do with the design of the box. I don't know much about the variations. He said he thought that the pink box was maybe just an early promotional image and it might not exist, which might also speak to the potential of a collaboration with Claire's and Hot Topic maybe no longer being in the cards. I know a lot of people speculated that maybe the pink box was reserved exclusively for that collaboration to be sold on their websites, which I think is another important thing to look at, even though this is kind of a side note, is with this set was also the promise that it would be in physical stores of Claire's and Hot Topic. But now, with the collapse of this set so early after release, it doesn't seem like it would make a whole lot of sense for them to carry it. We know that Target is now carrying the 3-pack blisters with a promo on their website. I believe it was $15.99 per blister, but we still haven't heard anything else about Claire's or Hot Topic. I think blister packs probably make the most sense for that collaboration. But anyway, I think the pink box is kind of dead. I don't think that's a thing that exists. I don't think that's going to be a separate SKU. But if we go with this 10,000 per SKU number, the other reason why I think this is significant is because the TCG Player and eBay collab, we know those boxes have a different SKU than the first initial wave of boxes. So that could be a very bad thing if the supply that TCG Player and eBay has of the collector's boxes is greater than what it seems to be. So we know that the original pre-order number for that set was 7,000. Now that's just, it's a pre-order number. We don't know how many boxes they actually ordered. We don't know how much they cut down on that initial number, if they did at all. But if they did cut down to 10,000 SKUs, 10,000 per SKU, 10,000 booster boxes, because there's 2 boxes sold in each TCG Player collector's bundle, would be 5,000 collector's boxes. As of the time that I'm recording this video, they've only sold about 900 collector's boxes at 150 a piece, which is the main destructive factor with the collapse of this set upon release, was the fact that TCG Player and eBay had this 2-box bundle for essentially the MSRP price of a regular one Kuromi's Cryptid Carnival box, which, as we all know, this kind of led to a huge downfall in the price of this set. So the reason why I say this is if they have half the number of booster boxes that are out there, if they had 5,000 of these collector's boxes, which would mean there's 20,000 total booster boxes if there's not a pink booster box, and they've not even sold 1,000 of those boxes yet, which again, this is all speculation. We actually don't know. They could only have 50 left. We know that TCG Player says they've got a supply of 50 left. I personally think they're just going to restock as soon as they sell those 50. I don't think they want to have listed, we've got, 5,000 more of these. I think it's going to encourage people to buy more if they think there's less than 50 boxes left in totality. But anyway, if they have half the supply of these booster boxes that are out there, then that would mean that this price isn't going to correct anytime soon. It's not going to bounce back anytime soon. And the reason why I say that is if they've only barely sold 1,000 and they still have 4,000 of these to move, I still think they're going to lower the price again. And I think they're going to lower it to $100 or less. I think they're going to start with $99.99 to move the rest of these boxes. And if they really have that many, which again, we don't know, but I would speculate they might based on the 10,000 per SKU, because I think the only set that they didn't equally distribute per SKU was Cryptid Nation First Edition. I think every set after that, when they said this is the print run, that print run applied to everything. Spell books, blisters, booster boxes, etc. But what we don't really know, because this TCG Player eBay collab thing is kind of a separate thing, and typically when Metazoo collabs a core set with eBay or TCG Player, and they come out with these little mini sets in addition to the core set, typically it's a much smaller print run than the initial. So that could work in the favor of this. It could be much smaller. Maybe it's not 10,000 booster boxes. Maybe there's not 5,000 more of these. Maybe it is a much smaller number. But because this is already a mini set and it's not a core set, maybe those same rules don't apply. And maybe they did do 10,000 per SKU, which is a possibility here. Because again, we do know for a fact that the boxes that come with the TCG Player Collector's Box are a different SKU. So that would be concerning to me if they have 4,000 more of these boxes left out there, 8,000 total booster boxes, which would be a significant population of the total number of boxes out there. And that would mean this price isn't bouncing back anytime soon. Even if they don't lower it again, they're going to keep that price at $75 a box just by keeping it at $150 for the 2-box set, which comes with promos and dice and all this extra stuff. They're going to keep that price there or lower from here on out for an extended period of time. So I even saw Argos's video where he was talking about this was a record number of booster boxes sold in X amount of time since release. I believe he said about 1,600 boxes have sold, which is impressive. And I think obviously the main contributing factor was the fact that these boxes, there's never been another set that has collapsed this quickly after release, which led to more sales, because a lot of these boxes in the past had stayed stronger longer, and this box collapsed immediately and became a lot more affordable to a lot more people, so I think a lot more sold as a result, etc. I don't think it was because the demand was greater. I think it was because the price came down so much, it just made sense for a lot of people that wanted to open a new Metazoo set. They could just buy a box for $50. I think that was about the bottom that this got to, was about $50 a box. And I just don't see it bouncing back if TCG Player has an extended supply, because they're pretty much going to cap it at $75 a box, even if they don't lower it, which I think they will. So that's why I think this is a significant conversation, because if the print run of 10,000 a box, it is kind of cool. It could be a good thing, because that means these boxes are scarce. And if already 1,600 have sold, but I believe Argos was factoring in the TCG Player collector's box sales in that number, which would be a pretty significant portion of them. I could be wrong, but I think he was factoring those boxes in. So on one hand, it could be good that this is a fairly scarce set. That kind of means it's a little bit easier to get the secret rare, because that'd be about 1 in every 100 boxes, maybe a little bit less, to get the numbered out of 131 Mothman, the Kuromi and Mothman secret rare card. And it, again, it makes it kind of cool, a little bit more scarce. I don't think Metazoo needs these really big print runs. I don't think the demand is even at 25,000 print run for a core set right now. 10,000 might be the number for future core sets. I don't know. But I think that could be a good thing depending on how you view it, but it could be a bad thing if that 10,000 per SKU also applies to this TCG Player and eBay thing. But again, it's something we don't know, because with this being a mini set, it might not follow the same rules that they've done in the past with the eBay collabs with the core sets, where they've had a much smaller print run on the eBay packs. But these packs weren't branded with an eBay logo. These cards weren't branded with an eBay logo. They're basically, the boxes are essentially identical to the original Kuromi's Cryptid Carnival boxes. They just have a different character face at the bottom of the front of the box, and they have a different SKU. But the cards on the inside are exactly the same. The secret rare chase is exactly the same. We've already seen the same secret rare pulled from these boxes. So inside the boxes, there's really no difference, where with past eBay collabs, the cards were eBay stamped. So I kind of just have this really bad feeling that potentially the print run was per SKU and included the SKU of booster boxes associated with the eBay collab. And we could still have a very long way to go for this set to bounce back. And while the reason I think that's important is because even if War is so far down the line, I believe they had the release of War slated for May. and this is supposed to be the next big core set. Everybody's really excited for it, or at least Mike is, and it seems like it's going to be this really cool concept. If this set continues at this pace, and it might not continue to go down at this pace, but if it stays low, TCG Player cuts it again, and they've got this massive supply of boxes they're really controlling that big of a portion of the market, and this box continues to just perform really poorly, never bounces back, just slowly trends down, or maybe even rapidly trends down, along with most of the other sets right now. Going into war, if this box, which was the last booster box they released, is $50 or less on the secondary market, who's going to be willing to pay $140 a booster box MSRP for war when the last set is barely holding $50 still? So I think it's going to be really important to watch how this set performs going into war, because I think it's really going to indicate how many people are going to buy war at MSRP and could potentially cause the collapse of that set just based on how this set performs through the next 5 months or so. But only time will tell. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. How is the Kuromi Cryptid Carnival set going to perform? How many of the eBay collectors boxes do you think are out there? And what do you think about the state of the Metazoo market in general? I just picked up some really, really cool stuff. I'm going to have both Mothman Revive boards hanging behind me here at some point. I picked up both of those. I'm really excited about that. Those have been like huge crown jewels that I've been trying to hunt down for my collection for a long time, and I finally got both of them. And I actually just bought 4 unopened Revive boxes from Argo, so I might pull another one hopefully, but we'll see. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe. Nick Strength and Pokemon, signing out.